This year's Asian Cup has already written some amazing stories, but the craziest match ever wasn't this year. It happened in 2015 in the Australian edition of the Cup. While this year there were some surprises, with the struggling of South Korea and Japan, or the amazing story of Palestina, there were certainly no games to be considered to be the craziest. Of course, there were still some class games, like the 3-3 of South Korea and Malaysia, or the win from Iraq over Japan. And Iraq, that's the team it's all about today. They faced the mighty Iran in the quarterfinals. They never met in a knockout stage before, and with the history between those two countries, you could expect a heated fight. And if you are one of the little older viewers, you might remember their relationship since the first Gulf War. After the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979, a new regime took over, and there were even more tension between the two nations. So, on the 22nd of September 1980, Iraq's Saddam Hussein decided to invade Iran and planned to secure a quick win. Iraq's plan failed in 1981, and so Iran executed a counterattack. The Western powers sided with Iraq, and after 8-year-long static warfares, the war ended in August 1988 with over 1 million deaths. After the war, Iran managed to gain influence in Iraq, and so became the resistance of the Iraqis even years after the war. And so, when these two teams met in 2015, there were still a lot of tensions. At the time, Iran won their respective Group C with 3 out of 3 wins. So they met the second place of the Group D, and that was Iraq. Iraq won 2 games in their group and only lost close to Japan with 1-0. So both teams had now the aim to gain to the semi-final spot against South Korea. All players are very motivated, and there were a lot of emotions loaded due to their rivalry. Iraq's coach Radi Shenashil even told his players to forget their opponent and just play a quality match. They already met in a tight friendly before the cup, but both teams knew that this time it was important to stay cool-headed. By the way, if you enjoyed the video so far, like it and subscribe our channel to support us. So, on September 23rd, they met in Canberra, and both teams already started with passionate fights for the ball. After 24 minutes, it was then Uriah Ghafouri to cross the ball into the penalty area, where Sardar Azmoun stood right and headed into the bottom corner of the goal. Afterwards, Iraq goal-getter Yunus Mahmoud only narrowly failed to equalize after a good save from Alireza Hangici. And when it was almost half-time, Medrat Poladi caused even more drama, after receiving his second yellow card after bumping into Iraqi keeper and then dramatically dropping himself. In the second half, Iraq started to press for the equalizer, and they got it in the 56th minute through a long-angled shot through a group of players from Ahmed Yashin. Iraq continued to press forward. They obviously wanted to take advantage on the one-man short opponent, but they didn't get another goal, and so it went to extra time. Then the game got even more furious. After only 2 minutes, when the ball bounced to Mahmoud, who scored a 2-1 for Iraq. But Iran didn't let that slide. After a corner in the 103rd minute, Portessa Poralinganci struck a power header into the net. 116th minute, and now Iraq pushed again. Yasha Kasim surpassed Motoreza and was fouled then. So Durgam Ismail took the chance and converted the penalty into the middle. But this goal didn't mean the semi-final for Iraq. Then Iran fought. Another corner for Iran, causing consternation in the penalty area, and after a header which was saved on the line, and the following shot on the crossbar, Reza Gojanijan jumped the highest and took the game to the penalties. The scenes were crazy. The two first penalties in the shootout both didn't go on target. Iran's first one went over the crossbar, and Iraq didn't take advantage and shot also wide. The next players all converted, and after both teams took 5 penalties, it came to sudden death. On the 8th round, Wahid Amiri only hit the post, and so Salam Shakir had the opportunity to secure the win. He kept his composure and bet Hagiji, and so Iraq went through the semis. This crazy loss meant for Iran the end of the tournament, and even if it hurted, they knew they fighted strong against their rivals. At the end, Iraq secured only the 4th place after losses against South Korea and UAE, but they surely were proud of their win against their strong rivals and a good tournament after the win in 2007. So guys, in this year's Asia Cup, Iraq will face Jordan and Iran, Syria in the round of 16. They could only play against each other in the final. So which of these teams will go further and which team will win the Asia Cup this year? Write it in the comments. See you.